Storytelling time. So I have been working in personal injury law for the past 5 years in Brentwood, and I really loved working where I worked in personal injury law, and I'll tell you a little bit about personal injury law. I am a paralegal who was a personal injury case manager for the past 5 years. I graduated with my paralegal degree in 2019, May 2019. I'm such a go-getter. I was able to obtain a position in a prominent law firm in Brentwood in August of 2019 and have successfully completed my term. And the reason why I say successfully completed my term, because life goes on, things happen, you change, you grow, and you try to go forward. Not really try, you begin to go forward and obtain the desires, of your heart. And the main thing is that you have your goals aligned with what it is that you're trying to obtain. I am 50 years old. I turned 50 years old in February of 2024. And I feel that I have another good 20, 30 years of giving my time and, to my community and things of that nature. And I love helping people. But this story that I want to tell you about is the experience that I had being the 1%. I don't know if you've ever been the 1% working in an office environment. I am an African. Well, no, I'm not African. I'm sorry. I'll take that back. I am an American Black woman, or Black American. We're going to say it like that. And what I experienced as the 1% Black American, working with Africans, working with a single Hispanic female, working with a person from the Mediterranean. I'm not really sure where he's from, but somewhere in the Mediterranean area, and working with one Caucasian male. I experienced getting the short end of the stick on all occasions. I experienced favoritism. I experienced racism. I experienced all the negative things that you can imagine that can happen to a person of color in my position. And I know that I did 1,000% of what it was that I needed to do in that position. But I wasn't respected. I was the only person there that was older than everyone that I worked with. I felt that I was working on a team when I first started in 2019, but as time began to progress, people that wasn't even on my educational level, not people, a person that wasn't on my educational level began to make things hard for me just because she could. And the attorneys in which I worked for, one was an African man. I was able to experience how this particular African man felt about a Black American by the treatment that I received from him in terms of the favoritism with the Hispanic female that I worked with. And then the other two, who was the partners of the firm, the guy from the Mediterranean and the white guy, they were cool, but they also did favoritism because the Hispanic girl had started with them when they opened their firm. And the African guy just felt like he was just following what they called her was the office manager. She was the office manager, and so therefore she managed the office, made sure that all supplies was there, and she did other things too. She even dibbled and dabbled in some paralegal work that I was supposed to be doing that they failed to train me, did not want to train me, and so they just had me stuck doing the basic stuff of a case manager, and I'm actually an ABA approved paralegal, that really needed to learn what entails of a true paralegal, which I can do that work. And I did end up opening up my own business alongside this position that I had. But I wanted to come on here and talk about the experience of working in a legal environment and being the 1%, meaning being the one Black American, and how I was treated unfairly. And I tried my best to hold on to that position for the 5 years that I was there. So if I started in August 2019, of course, August 2024 would have been my 5 years. But of course, I couldn't last that long, making March 4th, 2024, my last time, my expiration date of working with this firm. I love the partners. They were great, but they did subject me to favoritism with the Hispanic girl that started with them. This girl would gossip in the building to everyone that would listen, and because they've known her long, you understand what favoritism is and how favoritism works. They believed everything that she would say. So people wouldn't really talk to me in the office in terms of like the building where we were. It was a 12-story building, but everybody on the 5th floor, she had already got in their ears. And at some point, just say like 4 years into it, they hired my replacement. How did I know that they hired my replacement? Well, my workload dropped drastically. I went from like 60 cases to like 10 to 13 cases. All of the cases was given to a Caucasian lady who was hired as my replacement. When the Caucasian lady realized that she was being used as a pawn, of course, she quit after 10 months. And they then added another replacement for me, was a guy who came in. At this point, I had enough. I was just like, I'm fed up with this. You guys don't respect me. Not only do you not respect me, you do not value what I bring to the table. It doesn't matter to you. At least your behavior displays. It got to where the attorneys would completely ignore me. I would ask questions. I would tell them, my caseload has dropped. Is there any way that you can make sure that we have that our caseloads are evenly divided amongst us? They would say, oh, we're going to look into it, and they never would. So that's how I knew that I was going to be replaced. So I then started sending out my resume and looking for something different, because I am an American citizen. I do have a birth certificate. I do have a driver's license, and I can work anywhere I want to work. So I took my time finding another position, and I told God that, I will not accept another position unless it was in a better situation than what I am in now. I had to be clean, had to look better. The people had to be closer to my age, because I think they would be a lot more mature, because this Hispanic girl was like in her 30s. The attorneys were in their 30s, and I believe that African was like in his 20s, like late 20s, And in the midst of me being there, several other attorneys had quit. So they went through like 3 attorneys quit on them, Then that one lady that they tried to hire as my replacement, she quit. And then I quit. So everybody that, since I had been there, pretty much quit, because they didn't agree with it. They can see the favoritism. But I really do believe that those partners do deserve better. They need to understand that that girl that's working with them right now is not the only Hispanic woman in the world that speaks Spanish. You know what I mean? Hire somebody else that knows how to do the work, knows how to speak Spanish. You can do that, But this girl is sabotaging the firm. This is why all of these people are leaving them. And they fail to realize that they're so indebted to her. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but they're so they don't want to make any changes. The only changes that they want to make is running the good people that's there to work for them, with them, and help them grow their business away. So I wrote him a letter and told him that, first and foremost, I'd like to thank you. Thank you for allowing me to work for your company for the past 5 years. Although there is no room for growth, I tried to maintain, my position here. And I let them know some other things, or whatever. And I let them know that I wasn't able to work with this young lady anymore because it began to cause me high blood pressure. I was stressing a lot. And I like them a lot. I like the partners, So I don't want to do anything that's going to jeopardize them, like end up suing them or something like that. That was never on the table. I just wanted to be treated fairly, and I just wanted to work. But they, for some reason, it almost felt like as if they really didn't care, in terms of if I quit or not quit. Even the Caucasian lady, I even spoke with her after the fact, and so that we could clear the air, because she thought that I just didn't like her. And it was that I didn't like her. I didn't like the fact that they were giving her all of my cases, and I had no work to do. That's what I did not like. But at the end of the day, we cleared the air and everything. We've determined that Hispanic girl was sabotaging the firm. Not only was she sabotaging the firm, she was trying to make sure that me, the Black American girl, had no friends at the office. No one liked me because everybody there seemed to be followers. Can't nobody come to me and talk to me about somebody else and then I'm just going to agree with that person and just be on their side. These are adults, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. People need to learn how to meet people and make your own decision on how you want to deal with that person, or if that's someone that you want to deal with, not based off of something someone else told you about somebody. You know what I mean? That's just crazy. But that's when you're dealing with young people. See, like I said, I'm 50. So when you're dealing with people in their 20s and 30s, and sometimes even in their 40s, they it's all about gossip and hearsay. So you have to be very, very careful when you are obtaining your goals, when you're choosing places to be. Because at the end of the day, yes, they made me an offer, and I had to accept that offer. I had to determine if I was a good fit for them, and I had to also determine if they were a good fit for me. They had to determine if I was a good fit for them. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I had to determine if they were a good fit for me. So I didn't take it like it was a job interview. I never go to job interview. I go to meetings, because the meeting is about us determining if we are a good fit for one another, and also to talk about the skills that I have to bring to the table, and then talk about the benefits that you have to provide to me. Well, let me tell you something. I worked 5 years with no medical benefits, no dental, no vision, no nothing, no 401k for 5 years, because I wanted to work under this attorney, learn what I needed to learn, and do the American Bar Association study to become an attorney, to be able to sit for the bar. You can do that for 4 years under attorney without going to law school. So that's what I wanted to do. There was no room for growth. The girl pretty much, the Hispanic girl pretty much ran the show. Whatever she told the attorneys, they believed it. When I saw that, that's when I told them, no, I don't want to do the program with you guys. I didn't feel comfortable putting my life in his hands, knowing that she's their legal assistant. I don't think she has a paralegal degree. She's a legal assistant, and she's been working with them. She started with them. So her becoming a legal assistant depended on what she had learned from them. That was the issue. She learned everything she learned from them, and she's a legal assistant. When you Google legal assistant, it says that legal assistant and paralegal does the same. But it does not tell you that a paralegal is a paralegal by education. So I have hands-on experience and education, right? She has hands-on experience, and she just became a legal assistant as a result of working with attorneys. And I really believe they need to change that. They really do need to change that. Just like a physician assistant can't be a doctor, right? So a legal assistant shouldn't be able to be a paralegal, just like a paralegal cannot be an attorney unless they are provided the education and pass the bar. And the same thing should be for the paralegals, unless they have received a degree or some type of certification stating that they are paralegals. There is a difference between a paralegal and a legal assistant. Favoritism. Let's talk about that a little bit. So she was able to work for them, get the experience working for them to become a legal assistant. So she had it handed to her. I don't know if they paying her, what they was paying me. I don't know. And I really don't care. But at the end of the day, they put her over me when she lacked the education. She had hands-on experience with paperwork. She misspelled everything. She couldn't type documents without making errors. Because one, her spelling, she couldn't spell. Period. This is just what it was. I would look at documents that she saved, and she even spelled the names wrong, saving the documents. So she got it handed to her. So you, as a Black American, we experience that a lot. Things are not handed to us unless, we're that 1% millionaire, that our families are rich, and, it's handed that way. But if you're just like me, a regular working person, it's never handed to you. So if you're bilingual, it's going to be handed to you. You're going to be put above and in front of the Black American person. Africans, they get to come to America and they get programs, and they are privy to things that we are not privy to, and we're from America. That's with all immigrant people. When they come to America, they are privy to things that Black Americans are not privy to, period. And that's just the way it is. And that's how systematic racism exists in America. They make differences between people. And you can't say based on color, because when you go back and you think about it, the story of Moses, when he was saying, let my people go, right? Now, when that baby was placed in the water and the Egyptian lady found that baby was her slave's baby. Yes, they shared the same color. Yes, their lips may even look the same. But they were two different people. And that's the difference between a Black American and an African. We are different people, just like Hispanic people are different. And I'll say it like this: El Salvadorian, Mexicans, Guatemalans, they're different people. But for some reason, Black American people have been grouped together with our Africans, but there are different people, because even when you go to Africa, the Ethiopians are different from the Nigerians. They're different, but African Americans, we get the short end of the stick. So that was my story about my experience of working in the legal field for a attorney, or a couple of attorneys, who display favoritism in the workplace. And this is a thing. This is what happens in the workplace. If you are a Black American person and you have experienced this, please leave it in comments. Let's talk about it. What have you experienced at work that made you understand and reminded you that you are different, that you're not the same as the others, and you are set apart? Even if you go over, above, and beyond the duty of what's required, you're being set apart from others. And you can feel that, And so it divides energy. Energy is real. The vibe changes, So I remember when I first got that position, I was so excited. I was so happy, and everything was great. And it was everything that I wanted. everything that I wanted, right? And then all of a sudden, everything turned around as fast as it was me being excited about it. I began to be stressed out about it. I began to not really want to be there. I felt like when I got to that building that I just hated it there at some point. 3.5 years, 4 years, but I stuck it out because I'm not a quitter. And I wanted to get that 5 years on my resume, and I did. But let me tell you how good God is. And then I'm going to end this story. So I went interviewing, and I interviewed, and I met some other people that worked in personal injuries as case managers. I went and I saw that they had too many people. They wasn't really caring about the clients. They just wanted to make money, so they just have a bunch of case managers, and everybody's pretty much sitting on each other's lap. At least where I was working at, I had my own office, so I was pretty spoiled, even though I was set apart. And we'll put it this way: when I first got my office, I shared my office with the snack room, so all of the snacks was in my room. People wanted coffee, they came to my room. Later on, like 3 years later, they removed everything out of my office and got another office for the snacks, right? But when they hired the Caucasian lady, she didn't have to share the snacks at all. She just had her own office. Not only did she have her own office, she had looked like a standing treadmill. She had a bunch of things that they gave to her that I didn't get. They even gave her a company credit card. I didn't get that. And when I brought it to their attention, of course, they went scrambling and they got me one. But at that point, I felt like it wasn't even necessary at that point, I worked on QuickBooks and I requested checks to be written, but I never had I never was able to write a check. Like I would write it and then save it for whoever needed to go to write it, to finish it or whatever. It was like as if they didn't trust me enough to make me responsible for having a credit card. Or maybe, I don't know what it was, but she got one as soon as she started. I did get some business cards, and I did get a company cell phone. That was all I got when I first started, but not a company credit card. Anyway, those were some of the things that made me feel that they made a difference between us. I saw those things, and I brought it to their attention, and they kind of ignored me, of course, So when I wrote that letter, and I'll come back on another video to read the letter to you guys that I had wrote to them resigning. I just pretty much let them know that now they, what they had done to me, and I kind of let them know. I let them have it. I'm not even gonna lie. I let them have it in a letter professionally. I did. So I will definitely be making another video. I would like to ask that you guys please like, comment, and subscribe to my videos. And we're gonna start a talk. I'll be doing stories. I noticed that some people are doing blogging, some people, but mine's is gonna be story time. All of my stories is gonna be combined into a podcast somewhere in the future. But right now, I just want to focus on doing story time to start out. So if you like listening to stories, or if it if you can understand, or you can, if you've experienced these things before, you may be interested in this, something that you can listen to while you're driving on the way to work, or maybe while you're calming down or doing chores at home, you can listen to it, but this is what I want to do. So if you guys could like, comment, subscribe, let's talk about some of the issues that Black Americans are faced with in our community, in the workplace. If it's not our hair, if it's not the way we dress, all of that. I had a dress code. I remember them telling me that I couldn't wear jeans to work. After COVID hit, come to find out, that's all the Hispanic girl would wear. She would wear jeans that was cut off. We worked in a law office, which was supposed to be a professional environment. Nope. She got favoritism, and that was just what that was. And I accepted it. But I wasn't going to be kissing her backside. And even though I had to do that for a while, I was walking on eggshells for the first first 2 years when I started there, which was unfair, you know. We had meetings about that all the time, you know. But yeah, if you can, just, you know, like, comment, and subscribe. I'm gonna go ahead on and upload this video as is. I'm not doing any editing. It is what it is, and this is just how this is gonna be. Reality TV. The real reality TV is what you're getting. I love trees, so this is why I'm driving all through Beverly Hills looking at the trees. I have different goals and desires, so I kind of drive through the areas, and not where I want to live, but to look at some of the things that I plan to acquire as I grow and, you know, reach my goals and things like that. So if this resonates with you, please follow me, and